Yeah, look, it's prayer water cocoa. You can jump up on it now, you don't need the pogo. Yeah, we diving off, bitch, we about to splash. All up in the deep end, but we ain't up on a boat though. We gon' stir it up, some similar to cake batter. Headed to the top, no skipping steps and no ladder. These questions ain't some shit up on the street. Can't just walk around or put the faith inside myself. Got to work, stop the doubt. Trying to change the world, you better change yourself first. Living my life to the fullest, no round trip ticket on that hearse. I'm a star, so I burst. Entrepreneur, I got merch. Put your back against the wall and I can show you what you worth. We go in, we get deep. TLC the way we creep. Need a mop, need a top, cause where we spilling all the tea. This that prayer water, cocoa, keep me right in it weather. On my way to the promised land, can we get that together? Yeah, look, it's prayer water, cocoa. You can jump up on it now, you don't need the pogo. Yeah, we diving out, we about to splash. All up in the deep end, but we ain't up on the boat though. We gon' stir it up, some similar to cake now. Turn the hell up, it go down. It's your boy Jaloid. We up in here on Prayer, Water, and Cocoa Butter. Another episode, another phenomenal episode. I'm excited about this one. Another segment of All Up in Your Business. But respectfully. We got Mike Kim here today. Mike, brother, I appreciate you for coming through, man. Good to see you.
Thank you for inviting me, sir. So glad to be here. So glad.
And it's so crazy. Me and Mike were actually talking about the fact that we could be brothers from a long lost, I don't know, Cold War, Vietnam situation that maybe we don't know about or something like that. Brother came out swole, bald-headed, had the water bottle with him, made me feel very inadequate about myself.
A gallon of
I saw that.
water.
I saw that.
Water bottle is a different size. You're making me...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Right.
Please don't do that.
My bad.
Okay,
my
thank
bad.
you, thank you.
I'll cut the disrespect out immediately. I'll cut the disrespect out.
All is forgiven.
But no, man, Mike is a funny dude, man. I had an opportunity to kind of catch him live. That's where we actually met. We were on the same show a little while ago. Has a phenomenal podcast, doing a lot of great work as far as stand-up, big following on TikTok, huge following on TikTok, doing a lot of other things. Man, we happy to have you, my brother. Me and you were talking, like, I got into comedy because I love comedy.
Yeah.
You know, like, going to our show, we actually had a great lineup. I was laughing, had an opportunity to see you, people like that. But everybody's different. You know, everybody's fucking different. I feel like I actually performed for like Chocolate Sundays. They were doing like their first impressions, but it was through Zoom. And I was like, damn, like there were some people that were doing amazing. I was not one of them because I didn't advance. But it's all good. It's all good. I got your DM. Yeah, I got your address in your DM, Chocolate Sundays. But it was a great experience. But it was one of those things that I was like, damn. I kind of felt like, damn, Mike, maybe if I was live, this would have been like a little bit different. You know, I kind of... But I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so you were doing material that you normally do, right?
I wasn't doing material that I normally do. I was doing new material.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wasn't like, I'm one of those people, and we can kind of get into it. Me personally, I used to hate, and this is just being a new comedian too. I couldn't even understand like when I would see like niggas doing the same sets at like open mics. I'd be like, what the fuck? He's cheating.
Yeah,
he's cheating. This nigga's cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like that joke. And I had to realize like, oh, Jaloid, it's about working on it. Mm-hmm. It's about getting better. You know, maybe these people have a show. Now, I've also been around, Mike, to see some people who did. I've been around, 3, 4, 5 years, and I've seen you do 2 jokes, in 5 years. So I think it varies for everybody. But yeah, for me, I was doing new material. Why do you ask that? Do you feel like there would be a difference or something?
I asked that because I thought maybe you're doing a set that you already always have that that works, and then you did it on Zoom, and it didn't go the way you wanted it to, and it made you potentially like doubt your material a bit because because it's Zoom, it's kind of different.
It really wasn't that. I'm gonna tell you one of the complaints that I got, and the chat room was brutal. I didn't realize that people would be chatting during the Zoom show. That was me.
They were talking shit.
I'm not a huge tech person, but during actually my what was it? Yeah, it was the Laugh Factory, so the Chocolate Sunday set. And I remember the host was like, Jaloid, I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to the chat. Apparently, I'd had the camera too close to my goddamn face, Mike. So motherfuckers were going off. What the fuck is wrong with him? I can see all up his nostrils. Goddamn. I was like, you know what? Because the commentary in the chat room was hilarious, but it was a little brutal. It was a little brutal.
So you did what old people do on Facebook. Every photo they take.
Absolutely.
At a weird angle.
Absolutely. Right.
Where they look like their brains melting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And see his Adam's apple is 3 8/4. God damn. Yeah, it was too much.
The mask mandate has been coming back. We were open for a bit.
Yeah.
Right. And the same people that were like tired of it or not that were scared of it, are tired of it, but they put on a mask for like a front, kind of like when you have a condom on. Okay. And after a few strokes, you good?
That thing coming on. Right, exactly. Everybody good?
Yeah. Right. That's what it is.
That's what it be like.
It's
Why do we do that, Mike? Kim, why do we do that with the condom thing? Is it to put the lady at ease? Is that what it's about?
Well, I'll tell you what I do.
Well, talk to me.
I put that on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I worry that if I just, be like, real quick, take it off.
Right.
They're gonna be like, what's wrong with you? I'm not gonna fuck you, you disease freak.
Right.
But if I just go, hey, like, it feels better without it, right?
Right, exactly. You didn't.
Or actually, what I say is this is what I say. This is a little
disgusting. You're disgusting.
Yeah, I love it. This is advice for some of the guys out there. If you want to just raw dog everybody, you just say, I want to feel all of you.
Okay.
And what that means is, I want to feel the moist. I want to feel the wet.
Right.
Straight on skin to skin contact.
Skin to skin.
Skin to skin.
Yes, sir.
Because you know what's funny? When girls I would date would tell me to put a condom on, it felt like they rejected me. Because like if I have feelings for somebody,
right,
I have to raw dog them.
This has got to be all natural.
Yeah, soul to soul.
Yes.
Heart of hearts, love to love.
I like that method though. You questioning the lady first. You're not just going in there raw. You're doing it the right way. It's 2021. We got
consent, man.
We can't. I tell you, it's funny that you say that. I was actually having this conversation with one of my homeboys because it's interesting, I feel like, the dynamic between men and women a lot of time. Me personally, and maybe your experience, I think I've maybe in my life had two girls be like, you gotta put on a condom. I do kind of feel like both men and women kind of feel that. I think guys kind of get the blame sometimes for being the ones who don't want to use protection or do this or that.
That's facts, yeah.
We get the blame. Mike, I have had two people in my time who were like, no, we got to put on a condom. We got to have sex with a condom.
My experience too.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Because when it gets hot and heavy, because it doesn't feel as good for them either.
No.
And then they want you to bust in them too.
Yeah, that's
so they want all of your soul.
That's
right. Like our dicks is the gateway to heaven.
Come on now.
Yeah, souls are walking.
Mama, I apologize for Mike Kim. I will be at Bible study first thing on Tuesday.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry, ma'am. I apologize.
Right.
I would never disrespect your mother.
Mama, what does busting their soul mean? Mama, okay, I told you to watch the YouTube. Okay, not the audio. So the condom for me, I'm not even gonna lie, wearing a condom for me was just something to make sure that I didn't come fast. When I was coming out, I'm gonna just keep it above.
Less sensitivity.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
I would do that at times too.
Yeah. Your boy Jaloid, I was a sprinter. I wasn't a marathon.
Oh, dude, I fucking ran
a marathon.
I ran a fucking a sprint race 3 days ago.
Okay.
I won. I like to choke girls and pull their hair.
Okay.
I came so fast I didn't even have a chance to grab her hair.
See.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, ah! Shot on my chest because I was looking at her bed. I knew I was gonna bust so fast because there's white sheets and cum is kind of not clear or it's a slight.
There can be a hue.
With like a drop of mustard, it's slight like a watery mustard, like a slight drop of watery mustard. Well, I shot on my chest out of I wasn't trying to. It was an accident. I was like, oh fuck, I don't know. It hit my chest.
Yeah.
5 more inches, it would have went in my mouth.
Jesus, good God, Mike Kim.
9 more inches, it would have hit my eye.
Right.
So I'm sitting there in shame, double shame, because I busted so fast.
Right.
And I shot on myself.
And you shot on your chest.
Yeah. If she slurped it up, I would have been like, you know what, it's a win. But she didn't even do that. So I had to sit there like, what am I going to do with this? So then I got up to try to clean it up, but there's no towels. So I try to cup it as I stand up, but I forget it's liquid.
Exactly.
So I left.
It's been sitting on your chest.
So on the way to the bathroom, which is like 10 feet away, I left a gingerbread trail of cum.
You're disgusting.
On the floor.
My God.
And again, if she slurped it up, I would have got hard again. And it's been like second round, I will fuck the shit out of you. But do you know how I know it was over? She hasn't talked to me since then. Do you know how I know it was over?
Exactly.
That was the first time we fucked. When I said I was gonna leave, she did this. She was still in her bed. She turned around a little bit. She was like this, and she's like, tap my head.
Tap the head.
Like a little child. She was
puppy dog. The puppy dog.
Yeah, like a puppy dog.
My God.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there.
That was it.
I've been there. We a little bit more ashamedly common.
Yeah, we're not just bald brothers.
Right, exactly. We're not just bald ethnic people.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be a new podcast called Bald Ethnics.
Bald Ethnics.
Yeah,
Two bald ethnics.
Two bald ethnics.
Two bald ethnics. It's funny, this story, because I remember seeing a set by an Asian female comedian. And she kind of had a set. She was talking, Mike, about how, like, black men and Asian women are the most fetishized and sexualized, like, races. And I was like, I don't really know if that's true. I can definitely kind of like understand that from like a black male standpoint. The Asian women standpoint, I'm not as familiar. Do you feel that to be true?
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your ethnicity? What's your background?
I'm Korean.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Korean. No,
Okay.
you gotta think about it. What's the stereotype? Black men got big ass dicks. Asian women got tiny fucking tight pussies.
Yeah, that's
so
that's
every you know
you ain't lying, Mike.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Every guy who's not Asian was always like, oh, dude, I just like they got the tightest pussies. I'm like, dude, all girls can have different. Here, this is what I wanted to say earlier.
Okay.
The pressure on the men for us having the good size for the girl.
It is.
And to fucking pipe her.
Absolutely.
Dick her down.
100%.
Why don't we talk about the fact that women have different size pussies? I've been with enough women to know there's different size. The glove does not always fit.
The glove
it's
don't
not always the hand that has to fit the glove.
Right.
When I go to Big Five, if I want to buy a baseball glove, I'm gonna look for the fucking glove that fits my fucking hand.
Right, exactly.
Right? And what if I go to if you go to Big Five, they're not gonna make fucking money if they're like, oh, what size is your hand?
Oh god.
If you don't have the right size, you can't buy. Get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
That's a youth mitt, sir. That's
Yeah.
a youth mitt. Get out.
Youth mitt. You think I got it?
No, I'm talking. No. We ain't gonna start off with the racism and the stereotypes. I ain't gonna do you like that.
If we want to talk about size, we can talk about our size right now. I measured it to when I'm like max capacity and when I'm like feeling pretty all right.
Well, see, and that's what a lot of people mess up.
Yeah.
See, you treading on crazy territory. Every man has measured themselves.
Every man has.
You're lying. If you say you haven't, you're lying to yourself.
You're a fucking liar.
You're a fucking liar.
Fucking murder.
Flaccid as well as erect. Every man has measured
Oh my
themselves.
God. Dude, my dick is so small, flaccid, it's disgusting. Like, it's so tiny. I used to get embarrassed when I would get naked in front of girls, like, early in my sex career. Yeah. And, like, I'd be like, man, if only they knew. If only they knew. So I'd wait to get a little, like, chub. But now, I know what it's about. I know my true potential. I know what size it is. I know what the true size it is. Right?
Speaking of the stereotypes, that is one of the stereotypes. That Asian men are not, qualified to, whatever it may be. And I think the thing is that it's interesting, like me living in LA. Like, moving from Atlanta, there wasn't a lot of Asian people. Houston, where I'm from, there were more Asian people, I believe, in my high school than there were blacks.
Wow.
So, yeah, absolutely. Houston has a huge Filipino, Vietnamese population, Chinese population, huge. Because, like with a lot of stereotypes, right, obviously they come from a lot of places, I feel, of, like, there's some grain of truth there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been on X and XX. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some things. So there's a grain of truth, but you have to expand your mind as far as, like, get out, talk to people, meet, date, do these things. Obviously there's some stereotypes can be funny and stuff like that, but I think they can be harmful, Mike,
absolutely.
if there's not some context, of as far as what's going on. So, but I had to really think about that myself. Because I was like, Jaloid, I've always liked to experience things. Like, I don't have no kids or, nothing like that. I'm like, hey, I would like to get married one day. Before I do that, I don't want to be cheating on my old lady thinking about, hey, I could have hit up Tina back in the day. So for me, like, I was attracted to white women. I started talking to white women. I was attracted to Asian women. I started talking to Asian women. But I kind of had to think about it, though, Mike, because I was like, damn, am I fetishizing these women? I had to really think about this shit. I was like, am I fetishizing these women?
Yes, you are.
You are exactly.
I mean, we all fetishize to a point. Is it actual fetishizing, or what if it's just interest in trying things?
Well, and I was gonna say that, and here's the difference too.
Right.
What is the standard of the relationship? All the time. I don't think it's wrong to like try something. Like if a person who's not black is like, oh my god, I want to like date a black girl one time, like see what's that's like. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Dude, I had sex with my first black girl a few months ago. It was great, and she was super hot.
Okay, turn up, do your thing.
Yeah, and she, dude, I never had a girl say this. She was riding me in the car.
Okay.
And she was like, fuck this pussy boy, fuck it.
Yeah.
I never had a girl say, fuck this pussy boy.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Right.
They speak their piece. We
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, all women speak their piece. They make it known. I like it as well.
Yeah, I feel like I was in like a rap video. Fuck this pussy boy, fuck it. Like a Dr. Dre like fucking song.
A black woman is gonna let you know about yourself whether it be good or bad. So that is funny that, you know, in some ways, I guess there is true. That is true. I like that. That's honest. Like, there's definitely some fetishizing going on, I think, in all times, all standards. But at the same time, I think it's like what you continue to do in your behavior and like how you treat somebody.
Yeah, and why?
Like, I don't, exactly. Like, I don't, because there's different fetishes. I mean, there's like motherfuckers that like, you know, like I had a lot of homegirls. You know, I think actually Harper had mentioned it on her last show. She was selling pictures of her toes, pictures of her feet on OnlyFans during the pandemic. I had another friend who I believe was doing that as well. Yeah. So that's a fetish. I think when you fetishize somebody and you don't give them like a mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm just like, damn, I want an Asian girl, but I don't, like I ain't never talked on the phone to an Asian girl or something like that. You know, I'm like, it kind of gets a little interesting when you do it like that. I have no problem with like dating interracially. I love all different types of people, but I think it's like, it gets a little sticky. I feel like if you like, you'll never bring a black broad like out in public. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's fun.
Like you'll never bring a black chick like out in public. You'll never meet like, hey, you fucking with Asian women, but you'll never kind of like bring them around or anything like that. And everybody like, hey, do your own thing. But I'm like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. It gets a little bit interesting because me personally, like I said, I had to really think about that. With there being me not being in Houston in a little while, me being younger. When I was out there and kind of getting into California, okay, you're older, damn, like all these beautiful, amazing Asian women of all different backgrounds. Like I had to jump in. I had to jump in, Mike Kim, and I'm not mad that I did. But for me, it was about like any woman that I talk to, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to kind of see what's up. You know, see if something is
gotta,
there.
Look, something that brings us like the entryway to anything, whether it's like you let's say you never had Japanese food and then you try ramen and then you like that. Now you want to see what's up with rest of the Japanese food, and then it can get you deeper into like what's up with the culture. What's with the music?
Yes,
what's up with anime?
Right.
It's like that. So I don't think it's not such a big deal. It's just people are so, you fetishize me. It's like, no, I think you're jumping the gun. Right? Just give them a chance. And I think it's good for especially like colored people like us. That's like a
Here you go.
When a white person says colored people, that's like some 50s shit. Like we got some colored people here. But then if you say people of color, it's nicer.
Well, Mike said we both Negro, Jaloi. We both Negro. I think for us, you know, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, he's yellow.
Right.
He's yellow. He's got jaundice.
Oh God, right.
That guy looks in the sun too long and he's sick.
Jaundice or scurvy?
He's got the scurvy. Yeah. Eat some more oranges, you fucking chink. That's what they would say to me.
Have you ever dealt with somebody like really being racist?
Oh yeah, I had a white girl tell me when I was in 4th grade. I don't know who she was. Like there was like these two. It was like a white kid and a black kid in. It was called Seaside Lagoon. It's like a man-made.
Where you grew up?
I grew up in Torrance.
Okay, you grew up in Torrance.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
And then they were both like, you know, like doing like the eye thing, and then I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck? I was scared, and they wouldn't stop. So then I got the fear turned to anger, and I started to chase them. But we were in waist deep water, so I'm just like, you know, moving slow as fuck. And then their old ass sister came. We were in 4th grade, so she was probably 8th grade. So she's a big kid, and she had puberty before all of us. So she's a ginormous ass white bitch.
Right.
And then she fucking came with him. She's like, I will fucking drown you. I will drown you. And I'm like, but
they started.
Get in front of me, and he's like,
Right.
I will fucking kill you. And then it was a summer school. The Korean counselor, who's 20, came up to them, apologized for me.
Wow.
Shamed me.
Wow.
Shamed me.
Wow.
I still remember him. He had hairy legs for an Asian guy too. So hairy and fucking disgusting. I never forgot that, man. But the good news from that though was like I never let any of these like situations I got into ever affect how I viewed people of like different groups, because my closest friends are black.
You got a good mentality. You were saying that you just don't let that affect you.
No, I don't even think about it. Like, look, I don't care.
Really?
I've even had no, because why should I let one person who's got like insecurity or projecting some shit to dictate a whole group? It doesn't make sense to me.
Got you.
It could even be like 5 people of a certain group saying something to me, and I still won't give a fuck because that's just them.
You wouldn't allow, hey, those 2 or those 3 white people to affect your opinion on all white people. Is what you're telling me. Got you.
Because I have, dude. They're as minorities, man, and especially as comedians and stuff. We like to talk shit about white people, but deep down inside, look, there's fucking good white people that have fucking ride for me, you know,
Agreed.
and that do understand.
Yes.
I think it just ties into empathy. We just got to be empathetic, and it makes life a little bit more easy. So I don't have to feel like I gotta like watch my back all the time. You know, so I'm just like, fuck it.
I feel like, yes, there's definitely problems, and I've had, you know what I'm saying, people, that's what was interesting about your actual experience with racism. I'm sure maybe there's been a few other things. I've had definitely things happen, but I feel like it's a little bit more subtle. I feel like it's a little bit more ignorant. I haven't really had nobody try to like beat me up, but I feel it's more like the subtle, like
microaggressions.
Right, getting the job, or being out somewhere and somebody kind of insinuating something.
Little jabs.
Exactly.
That happens more than anything. Or a little look they give you, and you know why they're looking at you.
Right.
That's why I love the movie Get Out, because there wasn't like Asian people, but anybody that is a minority can understand the looks and the little things they 100%. Said when the guy's character goes into the house, meets the dad, and he's just saying these little things.
Yes.
Little, right?
Outside, when they were outside and stuff, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a line between ignorance and then intent, like intentionally trying to do that. And the older I get, I can really feel the difference. Like when my gut is like got that spidey sense going off. Okay. I don't try to suppress it. I allow it to kind of fill my body. So like physically, I can be like, all right, be friends with this. What's going on? Right. And then I can figure out what it is.
How did you feel about, and what's your mindset on the hashtag Stop Asian Hate? Is that something that you saw? Did you have any stories that that there were people that maybe you knew that were affected? Was this something that was there were a lot of people that saying this wasn't real. There was a lot of people saying, why y'all got the hashtag Asian Hate? This shit ain't real.
Yeah, Asians don't go through anything. Asians are white people. The craziest thing I hear that I see on the internet is Asians are basically white people, and that is insane. Dude, my parents are from Korea. Okay. You know how much racism they went through and the shit? Dude, nobody talks about the fucking internment camps that the Japanese Americans had to go through during the war times, right? Yeah. They weren't even anything part of it, but they put them in fucking camps.
Speak on it.
Right?
These were already citizens. They had been American citizens for years.
They're like 4 generations or something like that. Right. But for me, with the Stop Asian Hate shit, look, let's be real here, okay? People are going to think twice about fucking with me. I'm not a small guy. I have a shaved head. I look tougher than I am.
No. Okay? I saw you when you got out the car. I was like, I forgot Mike was this big. I said, damn.
But the people that get fucked with are either women, children, or elderly. Yeah. I know people personally. Like there was like my friend, I'm not gonna say her name, her and her family. This was daytime. Wow. Some dude had like an axe in daylight and was following them and chopped them down. Wow. Like with an axe. And then one of my other friends, you know, she just walks and somebody fucking like spits on her. Like these are things that legitimately happen. Yeah. But it's the narrative of the media and all that. Let's keep separating. But let's talk about the solution. But let's separate at the same time because it's something to talk about. If we rile up everybody of all groups, but right. So the same people saying let's unite the people actually low key want to separate the people at the same time so they could be the heroes saying we got to unite. Right. I can see right through that shit. Because if you're really about that, then fucking do something together. Exactly. It's easy. Why don't you fucking hang out? Exactly. That's my solution. Exactly. Fucking hang out.
Yeah, I like
talk to people, man.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, it is a real thing. It's a real fucking thing.
That's real because, you know, and that's the thing for me. It's interesting you speaking about people who, media, whoever it may be, trying to separate or there being another narrative. Because a lot of this, some of the quote unquote Asian hate was actually coming from other minorities. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd seen incidents where like black people were, you know, yelling obscenities or attacking people. And I'm saying not just black people. I've seen all type of ignorance. It was wild to me because I'm like, man, I understand because there was a feeling amongst a lot of black people that, wait a second, why is there a hashtag Asian hate? When we've been going through the things that we've been going through forever. And not only forever, you just kind of had the incidents of quote unquote the whole Black Lives Matter saga and, you know, everything that was kind of going on for the summer. Now it's kind of like, oh my God, there's a hashtag for Asian hate. But I'm like, at the same time, I agree with you, Mike Kim. Why can't we get together? And I do honestly hope, because when I was out, I went to a couple of the marches. You know, I've done things, spoken to different people. If I saw people of all races, all colors out there. Me personally, in my experience, I feel the Asian community is about respect. You're always going to have idiots. You're always going to have people who are racist and stuff like that, and different things like that. Like the girl I talked to, her dad, he don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? But I still pray for him, and you know what I'm saying? Hope he doing well and all that. He's a little bit elderly, sick right now. We keeping him in prayer. You know, but I don't really kind of worry about that. But I find it interesting that so many times minorities, we seem to be fighting each other.
Yeah,
we seem to be fighting each other.
You know, it's infighting.
Like,
and I want to touch upon the elderly Asian dad or whatever, because there was, especially immigrants, there is fear, but that's also tied in with whatever like is in the news and all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and then also out of ignorance. Yeah. Because I know elderly or like adult Asian immigrants that are afraid, because that fear turns into like a quote unquote dislike, but they don't even fucking know. Right. My best friend, growing up, my best friend was black. His name was Roy. I remember when he put on the Isley Brothers, I was like, Roy, what is this? He's like,
my favorite band.
This is R&B. And then I was like, what the fuck? You know, skip right? I would always get left at my grandma's house, right? Because my parents neglected me. So they left me there. There was, what's that white people family show that everybody always
Brady Bunch?
No, the other one. The one that was like 90s with the comedian fucking
Full House?
Full House. There was Full House, Growing Pains, whatever. Yeah. And then you had Family Matters, the Steve Harvey Show.
Okay.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, smart guy. I watched all the black sitcoms.
Okay, Wayne's World. Okay.
And you know what I would always wish when I would watch that?
What's that?
I would always, because like Asian families we don't hang out like that. It's very quiet. We don't. The parents just kind of don't really talk to the kids. I saw the black family's dynamic. I wanted that. Do you know how bad I wanted to go to a black barbecue? I used to dream about that. Right? So that's how I grew up.
You came up with a different experience, and which led to a different mentality.
Because of TV, isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
And then my friend, and we just got along. We just ended up getting along. He just happened to be black. That's it. You know.
It's interesting you speak about the family dynamic and the family background. Like I said, I always try to, read up on my guests and everything like that, man. You got a lot of info out there. You do a lot of phenomenal content. You kind of broaching on the subject as far as like the family. I saw you kind of talked about going through some things to even you trying to getting to the point of being a comedian. You kind of had to go through some things as far as some conversations with your parents and different things like that. Tell me about that. What was your experience as far as, your family and your upbringing?
Oh, dude, I was the black sheep in my family, man.
Really?
I remember, dude, one of my earliest memories was my mom, because I was always trying to make people laugh, and my mom said, stop doing that because people won't respect you. I never forgot that, and I always felt guilty. But that was the time I felt the most connected to people, because I was a shy kid. But when I felt just comfortable enough, I would let that side come out.
Right. And that was shut down.
They were shut down. Everything was, dude. I mean, even when I think I was preschool, my dad asked me, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And I said, "I want to be a comic book artist." And he looked at me. He's like, "There is no money." And ever since then, I felt guilty for drawing. But then my fucking parents put me in art school after that. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
There's a lot of like confliction within internal conflict of like, who the fuck am I? I felt guilty for doing anything and everything. So there's a lot of self-hatred.
Wow.
Based off of the way I was raised. So
where do you think that comes from, Mike? Where like because I've always heard that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've had an opportunity to talk to a few Asian women. Where do you think that comes from? As far as like, obviously generations kind of before you, and different things. Like what's the mentality? Is that just heritage? Is that just where's that come from?
Culture and generational trauma. Previous wars. Trickles down. Like that. And I mean, I even read this one thing recently where they were saying trauma is actually also biological, because they did tests on it. Like it can be passed, like hereditary, up to like 3 generations or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, either way, it can be passed outside of the biology, hereditary factor. I mean, my dad, he would hit me all the time he would hit me and my mom, but he would hit me more when I would cry. Right. But if I sat there angry, like, like hyperventilating, like with a scowl on my face. He'd look at me with pity, and he'd be like, in Korean, he'd be like, "얼굴 씻어." That means wash your face, and like throw a towel on me and walk off. That's what I went through.
Wow.
Yeah, so I never felt safe at home.
The crying and the tears would make him even more upset.
Yeah, I mean, literally, this how fucked up it was. I'm like 6 years old, right? And then he'd kick me to the floor, he'd push me to the floor, and then he'd be like, "You don't know. That means like stand up." I'm like halfway standing up.
Right.
He kicks me back to the floor.
Wow.
He's like, "Stand up again." And he'd do things like drag me by my arm and on the floor.
Wow.
That's the type of shit that I went through, man.
I heard you speak about trauma, depression, just kind of going through some different things. How did that kind of, as you were kind of coming up, Mike, how did you react to that? Coming up, your dad being raised like that, was it like, did it make you shy? Did it make you act out in certain ways? Like, how did you deal with that?
Oh, dude, I was the shyest fucking kid ever. Like,
Really? You? Mike, you?
Dog, all through high school, I would walk around the hallways with my head on the floor, not making eye contact. I would sit in classrooms, fucking sweating balls, just because somebody sat next to me in a desk 3 feet away, 2 feet away. Kind of like you earlier.
Right.
Yeah, I would just sweat, and my heart would be like, pop, 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 like that.
Wow.
Just sitting. 24/7. I had anxiety 24/7.
Wow. Was this just the fault of just interacting with anybody in any capacity, or disappointing them, or disappointing yourself? What was the mindset?
Well, I mean, you got to think about this. When you're at, what is home? It's supposed to be safe. Haven.
Exactly.
I didn't even feel safe at home.
Right.
So where am I going to
So
feel
why
safe?
the hell would I feel safe at school? Right.
So to me, the world wants me to fucking die, essentially. So I can't even be me. My dad wouldn't let me be me. So that's how I'm operating. I don't know how to be me. I don't even know what me is. I'm not allowed to be me. I thought that I was supposed to suffer. That was my norm. I thought I was supposed to be unhappy till I died.
Wow.
You know? So I had to fight. It took 10 years to get to this level of where full acceptance.
Right. Putting yourself out there.
Fully, like fully.
Coming on your chest, almost in
Coming on my chest.
almost in your mouth.
I could have got some
Almost
protein.
in
I
your
could have got
mouth.
some protein. The fuck is that, man? That's some, you know, like the runners, they use the gels.
Disgusting.
The gels, and it's like that, but like not as thick. But yeah, I had to train myself. Like, it was a painful fucking journey to get to where I'm at right now.
Tell me about the depths of that, and what was, can you count on anything? Can you recollect anything? Was there an experience, a person, Mike, that got you to the point where you said, "Man, I got to make a change"? What was the worst? Because I'm just trying to figure out the Mike Kim that I met.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this story and I'm like, damn, I literally met you performing.
True.
So I literally met you on stage performing. A lot of energy, high energy guy, high energy set, stuff like that. Some great content and material. So what were the depths of that? Was it hitting rock bottom? Was it somebody that like how did you get to the point of that? Making a change?
A few things. Rock bottom. I was gonna hang myself 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You really felt like killing yourself?
No, for about 6 months, every second of the day, that's all I was thinking about. And I was planning it.
Wow.
I knew if I put a belt on my neck, I'll fall right asleep like jujitsu, like fucking like I'll just fall asleep.
Really?
Never wake up. Yeah.
Wow.
So that made me look into my childhood trauma. It made me look into, but I didn't know there was childhood trauma because it wasn't until my friend sent me a podcast with David Chang and David Cho. So I don't know if they have David Cho has a thing on Hulu right now.
Okay.
The Cho Show, and then David Chang is like a world-renowned what is it? Chef. He's got a Netflix show, Ugly Delicious. He does a ton of shit. Anthony Bourdain. They both were friends with him. Blah blah.
Very cool.
Both Korean American. Both in their 40s.
Okay.
I didn't know about childhood trauma. I thought I got over it because my dad died like 10 years ago, or 8 years prior to, or 7, 8 years prior to that. So I thought I was fine with all that shit. But then I listened to this podcast with people that not just look like me, but exact same culture.
Wow.
Immigrant parents, and they're killing it in their creative perspective fields, an artist and then a chef. And they both say that they deal with childhood trauma, and they still have to, in their 40s, go to a therapist to work that shit out, like at least once a week, even to that day. And because they said that, it made me look at myself and think, is there something I have to think about and work on? Is that, like, why would I want to fucking, maybe that's why I wanted to hang myself. I couldn't figure it out, you know what I mean? This is one of the biggest things where at the time I was in a relationship and we went out to a dinner with her coworker who was like in her 50s and her husband who was 60. And the husband, by the point when I met him, he was diagnosed with cancer 2 weeks prior.
Wow.
So for 2 weeks, he was thinking about his everything, life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if somebody said you got cancer.
Yeah.
In 1 hour, you're gonna think of 30 minutes. You'll think of
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
2 weeks of that shit.
Absolutely.
So the girls are eating like 6 feet away at their own little table because right. And I'm talking to his name was Mike also, and he asked me, "What do you do?" I said, I do digital marketing, right? Which I hated doing the sitting down all day, blah blah. It wasn't even me. And he's like, "Do you like it?" What I would always say was this to convince not just other people but myself that it was enjoyable. I would always say, "Oh, it's flexible. Like I have a flexible schedule."
Right.
That's all I could say about it.
Wow.
But then at this point, this is when I was really thinking about leaving that behind and trying to do something different because But I'm thinking of doing something different that I like a little bit more. And then he leaned in like in my face. He said, "Good, do it." Like I was like, "What the fuck?" And then he went off to tell me that for 30 years he was a district manager of multiple Lowe's and Home Depots all across the country, working like 60, sometimes 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Traveling everywhere, right?
Probably making some decent money, but
250 to 350K.
yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's pretty good money, right?
That's pretty decent money.
Yeah. It's a very extroverted job. And he said if he could go back in time, what he would have done, because he's an introvert, would have been an accountant because he actually loves numbers.
Okay.
Made like a quarter of the amount, worked like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, right.
Spent more time with his family.
Yeah.
Because he had like a couple kids, right? And then he has a wife.
Yes.
And he would have spent his time to reading technical instruction manuals because he thinks that's fun. And if you guys don't know what technical instruction manuals is, it's like the IKEA. You bought a chair, putting the chair together. That's fucking weird. Right? That's fucking strange. I never heard that in my life.
My man said if I could do it all over again.
Yeah, right? And then he said this. He gave me this look that I never forgot, straight into my eyes, and said, "I regret every decision I've ever made in my life."
Wow.
A 60-year-old man told me that.
Wow.
In front of me. That was the final push that made me be like, I got to change these things. I can't be like that.
Exactly.
You regret fucking your whole goddamn life?
I'm like, damn, right, exactly. I got a few, Mike
You know what
Kim,
I mean?
but damn.
Yeah, that's why at that point
Wow.
I decided after, figuring out all my childhood trauma, figuring that shit out and blah, blah, letting myself start to even pursue this shit. I was like, you know what? I gotta live for me no matter what that looks like, even if I'm broke for the rest of my life and nobody. I told myself starting stand-up, I said, I don't give a fuck if nobody knows who I am for 10 to 20 years. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I gotta do this for me, because what's the alternative? I was gonna fucking hang myself.
Exactly. Right.
So if I was gonna take myself out, I might as well
Right.
do what I want to do versus me thinking what society wants, me thinking what my parents want,
You
me
could be
thinking
making
everything.
great money, making the parents happy, doing all this, but you want to kill yourself.
And you're gonna
What's
resent
the
them.
point?
And you're gonna fucking resent them.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. In yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I'm glad you got out of that point, brother.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got out of that point. That's a great
Appreciate
story. Absolutely, man. 100%.
In 2015, I actually did my first open mic
Okay.
out of college because I wanted to try it, but even though I was scared. So then I ended up like quote unquote crushing it accidentally somehow,
right.
bombing the next couple, and
Right.
left because my ego couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to try, and also I felt like I wasn't allowed to do it because I still was in that mindset of I got to do things for other people, not for
Right.
me.
Right.
So I don't really like to count that.
Yeah.
But then, in between that time, then I did improv for two years.
Yeah.
And deep down, and improv is like a group-based thing. But deep down inside, I knew this isn't even really like full. I mean, I love improv. I appreciate it. I attribute it to a lot of other things. I'm grateful for it. But it's not me.
You were still holding back.
I was holding back.
You
it
were
was
still
a
holding
crutch.
back.
It was a fucking crutch, man.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came the whole, you hit rock bottom, and you're like, I can't lie to myself anymore, man.
Yeah. I heard, or I actually read about you just kind of doing almost 300 shows, open mics, etc., in like a year and a half. Where did the work ethic come from?
Yes.
Were you always like that, or did you just have you had a reason to live for?
It was closer to a year.
Really?
Yeah.
300,
Closer
get on
to a
stage
year.
300
I
times.
said 3 months because I didn't do that much in between that, so I was already
Wow.
pretty much close to that 300. But the reason why I did and like a few shows in between is because when I first was in the scene in LA, nobody gave me respect. People didn't want to fuck with me. I've had people disrespect me, so, like act like I'm nothing. I was trying to say hi to them, and they'll treat me like they're like the high school jocks.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like fist bump me, like not even looking at me while talking to their friends.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like any of that, and it made me so mad. I was like, I told myself, I'm gonna get so good so fast. you're not gonna be able to fucking ignore me. I'll make you respect me.
You ain't gonna be able to deny me.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to deny me. I'm
Yes,
not gonna
sir.
go up and say, pay attention. No,
Yes, sir.
you are going to fucking find out.
Yes, sir.
And
I love that.
And at this time too, I was doing background acting, so I would be on set sometimes for 14 hours, 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
Going off for 3.5 hours of sleep. Get off, go hit a mic, exhausted.
Yeah.
And I would want to leave, but then at this time it was so fresh when, like, I was gonna fucking kill myself. When I wouldn't want to go, or I'd feel like, scared and all that, I'd be like, I'll drive and I'll be like, I'd scream like, you fucking bitch, you fucking pussy, huh? You're gonna fucking kill yourself. You might as well fucking kill yourself, you fucking loser bitch. Right? I would scream, yeah. I swear to God, I'd scream like at the top of my lungs, like louder. I'd be, you fucking loser, huh? And then I'd say shit like, you gonna let those motherfuckers kill you?
Yeah.
You gonna let them fucking kill you?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? Fucking kill yourself right now then. I would yell like that. So that rage got me through that when I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit every day for like 4 to 6 months around there.
Wow.
Every day. I'll be hitting like 8 to 10 mics a week. I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every goddamn day. Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't getting laughs. I was bombing. People weren't being nice to me, all that stuff, right? I felt so rejected. But then eventually comes a point, as we all know, as stand-up comedians, you kind of figure it out. You kind of figure that shit out, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you get and then
Take some time.
Yeah, and then when I found, like, I was up there, and then I wasn't getting the laughs, but I didn't get shook. That's when I fucking knew.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I think I found it.
Yes, sir.
Now it's not really
That's that point.
It's not the voice yet.
Exactly.
I'm still like working
I
on
have
that.
all the jokes, content, and material and delivery, but I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I'm not scared anymore.
What you think? You can suck my dick. In fact, don't even suck my dick. That's a privilege.
Right, exactly.
Fuck off, right?
You gotta get there.
You gotta get there.
That's dope. But to hear that you stood tall in that situation, you know what I'm saying, and with a mindset, whether it be rage, whatever it may be, and I've always said this, Mike Kim, I look at comedy, when I be on stage, I've always said this, and I love it because it's whatever you need to do to keep yourself alive and to keep yourself motivated and going. I always look at it like a fight. I'm a fighter. Like, my mom almost lost me when I was born and everything like that, lost a lot of blood. I've had, a lot of difficulties with diabetes, etc. I'm a fighter. And I've always, when I'm on stage, I have a good time, but I look at it like it's a fight. Like, y'all ain't bringing me down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fight to get the crowd on your side a lot of times. Because they already have an assumption about you.
Yeah.
They already have an assumption. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe somebody may know who you are, know your content. Oh, I know Mike Kim. But a lot of people you're meeting for the first time, or even great, well-known comedians, they may be traveling somewhere, somebody doesn't know them, and they have to win that crowd over. But when you're doing the things, I love what you said, man, about being at a point where I don't give a fuck. And not being disrespectful to anybody, the place, the venue, the crowd, or anything like that. But I'm focused on me, and I'm focused on getting better.
Yeah, like, the audience and how it goes is not going to dictate the rest of my fucking day.
Exactly.
It's not going to dictate my self-worth.
Yeah.
That's just a moment in time.
Exactly.
That I can learn from, that I'm going to improve from. So that was my first gauge of that I'm getting better when I really felt it, is just how I felt, and the fact that I could sit up there and take a bomb.
Absolutely.
And I mean, now though, I don't operate with rage. Like, I don't need to do that because it's just me now. I don't even think about it. And on top of the 300 thing, I would go alone, right? And I never did a set. I was always sober. Never done one set under the influence of anything, because people would always say, you gotta take a beer to cut the edge. Right. People would say that, but like, and these are people that did it longer, but my gut was like, I was like, I don't think so, because I kind of want to feel it all. Yeah. I think it'll make me feel better if I feel all the emotions at once and not suppress, because I used to be a drug addict, so I knew what it was like when I would be like,
I was going to ask you if you ever did indulge. Okay. Wow,
yeah,
so you did.
I was like, deep in that shit, and like getting blackout drunk 3-4 times a week, and stuff like that with whatever other drugs I was doing. But I remember when I quit that, all the emotions came hit me at once, because I did the drugs and drank a lot because I wanted to suppress that and give me confidence to go out.
Sure.
And even even have a little bit of my personality come out. And because I recognized that, I applied that mentality of just sober that shit up.
Yes.
And then that also, like I said, I attribute that to, on top of the 300 things, of learning to handle bombs and being in front of audiences much more quickly than if I weren't to be sober all the time.
That's awesome, man. This has been a phenomenal discussion, man, and dialogue. I truly appreciate you. But for anybody maybe Mike that's not maybe using the rage method. Maybe they didn't have, that, or they're a different personality or whatever. And it's kind of crazy to even hear that from you. You was talking about you used to walk around with your head down in high school and all these different experiences. What would you say to somebody who's maybe potentially thinking about they don't have anything to live for? What am I doing? What are there any resources? Or is there I understand the method that you went through, and I'm so glad and happy that worked out for you. For anybody else that's maybe thinking about potentially taking their life or whatever background that they come from, what would you offer them as far as any mentality or resources to get out of that way of thinking?
Here's what I can say, and it sounds easier than what it is, but this is basically at the core for me, at least. Outside of that, like depression. A lot of depression comes from when we don't choose our fate. When we don't do what we really want to do.
Speak on it.
You can only control so much, but you can control your actions. You can control the direction you want to go for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason why I wanted to, looking back on it, I wanted to off myself is because I felt so out of control out of my life up to the age of fucking 29.
Wow.
I thought it wasn't my life.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, what can I control? I can take myself out.
Right. I can control that.
I can control that. So as hard as it is to be an individual in this day and age, you have to fight to look within to see what do I want to do and say fuck the rest. Like even me doing I was so afraid to even do background acting because it was minimum wage.
Right.
And I'm like, how are people gonna look at me? Are girls gonna want to fuck me?
Right.
Are they still gonna suck my dick?
Right.
I was worried about that.
I'm a background actor.
Yeah, I'm a background actor, right? But then I did that. That was the first job where I was like, you can have fun, and and I met people like me doing like that, want to do entertainment and shit. It blew my mind.
Absolutely.
Right. So you never know. So you got to try anything and everything, because if you don't try anything and everything, you will continue to be in that helpless mentality. And that can lead to some bad shit, and it becomes a habit, and it becomes your life, and you feel that darkness. It gets so dark, like a dim switch in a room. It gets so fucking dark, you don't even remember where the switch is, where the dimmer is.
Absolutely.
So that is and then look into your childhood trauma. One thing I learned is what I would always do to make myself feel like I didn't have issues was I would always look at like YouTube videos of kids in like third world countries. I'm like, they're starving and dying.
Right.
They got bloated ass tummies.
Yeah.
They look full, but they're not.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Or like this person lost his leg in an accident, or they're handicapped. They got like cerebral palsy. I would just always look at that and to diminish my shit.
Yeah.
But as horrible as and as tough as the other things that other people go through, it doesn't mean that we don't go through shit either.
Right.
Even that rich motherfucking kid who grew up with the spoon fed. He's got some shit going on too.
100%.
So that's why I really implore people, just like don't play it down.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, don't be a victim and just fucking do your best to do shit.
Absolutely.
Even though it sucks ass.
Right. Take control. Start taking control, because see, you getting that help, that's taking control.
Yeah.
Prior to that, you're letting the circumstances of life dictate. And once you started doing something different, Mike Kim, you started to realize that no, I dictate my life.
Yeah.
I dictate of course there are things that happen. Me personally, I'm a believer in God. I believe that there's a high power, et cetera, but we are in control.
Yeah, actually,
we are controlled.
I want to say something real quick based off of that.
Yeah.
I used to be, Christian and stuff.
Okay.
So I no longer believe specifically in God per se. However, it's a very similar concept. I believe in the universe. Whatever the universe fucking is. I don't know. It's just like a thing. Like this whole fucking thing. I believe the universe wants every single one of us to win. But the universe, it puts obstacles in front of us because it wants us to not take it for granted. The universe says, I want you to win. I want you to have that thing you want, but I need you to appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Because if I just give it to you,
100%,
you're just gonna throw it out the window, and you're not gonna even enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep putting these things in front of you. But if you can get past that, you will get what you want.
Might get
but I
blessed with
want
something else.
you to win. And when I start thinking like that, I include the universe as people too.
Yes.
Even though there's a lot of competition, and sometimes we humans are so fucking complex and neurotic and shit.
Yes.
But deep down inside, we all want connection with each other. We all like want to be fucking like, yeah, you know, that type of shit. So that's how what I wanted to say in terms of like the God universe thing.
Right.
The
however you view
however
it.
you
Absolutely.
yeah.
And for me, like I said, name of the show, Pearl Water and Cocoa Butter. That's my personal thing. You know what I'm saying? Southern bread and everything like that. I do believe in God, and that's something that I've kind of been raised with and that I've kept, even though I've gone through quite a bit. You know, it's just a mentality for me as far as just an old school, you know, mentality, theology, as far as way of living to kind of get through some of the things that you go through. Now, with you being obviously, holding on to the idea of the universe, whether it be God or not, the universe, what it is that you're going through, coming out with the jug of water out of the car, veins popping out your arms and all of that. What is it now for you that allows you to continue to stay? Because it's one thing to get out of it, Mike. You know what I'm saying? It's like a drug addict or something like that. Oh, people fall off the wagon. What is it? What has been the things in your life that have allowed you to continue to move forward in that positive direction? That's not even about worried about anybody else. And I know I sometimes have this mentality like, oh, people are against me. Yeah. You're of the mentality that, hey, listen, these people are here to help me. I'm doing certain things. What has allowed you to keep that mentality?
Well, I have to work on that every day. It's not like I feel the same way too. Yeah. You know, especially when we're in entertainment. And right. You know some of these people are really trying to
right, exactly. It's not like it's unfounded, right?
Yeah. So that can lead to paranoia and that can seep into our regular life.
Sure.
But I just know that the business is the fucking business. It is what it is, right? Right. And I kind of compartmentalize that. But also at the same time kind of I embrace that since that is to be expected, why should I fight it? Right. Since I know what it is, I'm not gonna go to a fucking like a UFC fight and be like, why are they fighting? They shouldn't fight. No, that's what they're gonna fucking do. Exactly. I expect that. I expect rowdy people to be around. Right, exactly. So it's okay. It is what it fucking is. But I have to work every day. I have to journal. I gotta get my anxieties out. I have to lift weights to alleviate some of that shit. Yeah. You know, so I have to do every day. Part of my work for me is working on my mental health. That keeps me going. Yes, sir. And then now I'm from the framework. I don't even have and I wanted to touch on real quick before I continue this is, I have no thoughts of suicide, period. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm the brokest, but the happiest, because I'm building on something on my accord. I'm choosing my destiny. That's awesome. You know what I mean? So if anybody's like thinking like, oh, does he still want to kill himself? Zero. None. Yeah, well, I can already feel it. I can already feel it. Like I said, I'm glad I met you when I did meet you. Yeah. You know, but, it's just a kind of a basis when you kind of meet somebody sometimes, and you were just very responsive, Mike. Just very, Jaloid, and blah, 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 very communicative. I think I sent you something about the Comedy Gives Back grant, and thanks, bro, and everything like that. You exude that. It's not just in talk, it's in action. You exude that. What do you want now that you have this different approach? And now that you have a different mentality and outlook on life, what do you want when it is all said and done for you, Mike, for your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember Mike Kim for, know you for? It's not so much I need them to remember me for something. It's more like I want to leave behind things that can still help people. Yeah. Like whether it's, my own, because I've had kids send me handwritten letters, like Asian kids saying, because of you, I started to love myself. I started to love being Asian. Yeah. Because there's a lot of self-hatred within the Asian community. Because there's, nothing in the Hollywood makes us look cool. We just do it with kung fu, whatever, all that shit. So just something that can keep on giving, whether it's joy or like some kind of therapeutic thing. Yes. Because of, like I talk about this mental health stuff or whatever it may be. Or, and it's not even just like Asian kids. My demographic is all across the board. White kids, black kids, Mexican, everybody. Yeah. So like shout out to that boy Roy, your black friend, right? Shout out to that boy Roy. Yeah, because to me what matters the most is unification. Yes, sir. I care more about unifying the people. Yeah, like from all groups, like because that's how I live my life. That's my friends. Yeah, that's who I hang out with. Right. So like I'll make content about that. That's just what I try to do. That's what I want. Right. More than anything, like I don't need to be like never forgotten. People are gonna forget me. People are gonna forget. People forget. Absolutely. But if I leave something to where it can help somebody, fine. Job well done then. That's mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Like whenever I was a non-Asian girl's first Asian dude. Yeah. That they fucked. Right. You helping somebody out, Mike. I literally would think we're not fucking anymore, but now she's gonna fuck more Asian guys.
Right.
So I did my fucking duty right there.
I didn't help out the culture.
Straight up, I'm not even fucking, that is how I think. I'm doing work.
He ain't just doing it for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. The man has a purpose. The man has a purpose. I love it, man. I truly appreciate your openness and your honesty. I mean, you encourage me a lot. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Listening to you, and I truly appreciate your time, man. And I know that for anybody that had any feelings of offing themselves, ending life ain't worth living, man, I highly suggest that y'all check this guy out, check his content out. I'm so excited about getting this podcast out. Mike, if anybody wants to follow you, bro, keep up with you, man, just from a comedic standpoint, get some great content, information, support your journey, what's the best places, man, to kind of, find you online?
You guys can find me on every single social media handle. My YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Every single thing is under Mike Kim Comedy. One word, MikeKim Comedy. I also have a podcast.
Turn up, yeah, exactly. Where can people find the podcast, and exactly what have you? Now I've viewed it, I've checked it out. What do you guys got going on with the podcast?
So the podcast is basically the podcast is called The Set Breaker, and I call it that because I want to break people out of their set ways of thinking about people, the world, whatever, right? So I bring on all kinds of people of all backgrounds, occupations, whatever, and then it's casual conversation, but we get deep. It gets just natural comedy in it at the same time, and then we go into every topic like dating, whatever, religion, a little bit of religion, not so much of that, but it's just check it out. I think you'll be entertained and maybe get like a golden nugget or two from it.
I love to hear it. So we're definitely gonna make sure, Mike, to post all that information up for anybody so they can check you out. Once again, my brother, I appreciate you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming through. It's been another phenomenal episode of Prayer, Water, and Cocoa Butter, man. Another great segment of All Up in Your Business, but respectfully. Turn up, it go down.
Look what it do, just telling the truth. Yo mama getting jiggy, we raising the roof. Do my little dance, get paid in advance. I'm a cheap bastard, but splurging the booth. Look what it do. 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 Look what it do, look baby, who knew? We're like a dog watching dreams come true. Raising at Houston, Cadillacs cruising, South riding red in the North Candy blue. Baby, I'm blessed, no sneeze, a high shoe. Been dating a little Asian, bro, high cool. I like them thick, but I'm more concerned if you loyal, cause you need your heart to be true. Not a Boy Scout, but staying prepared, not a piece of meat. Have some respect when you stare. Do what I do, keep everything moving. They want the electric all up in my chair. I'm off the chain with no leash. Top 5, and that's just at least. Could've told, but no, I'll never speak. Groundhog Flow got this bitch on repeat. Look what it do, just telling the truth. Yo mama getting jiggy, we raising the roof. Do my little dance, get paid in advance. I'm a cheap bastard, but splurging the booth. Look what it do. 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 No ma'am, I don't sip codeine, but this kush so call it bedtime. Had epiphany that it was in me the whole time. Ain't here to flex it all, man. Little shit, look, let me quit. This what it do, but you already knew. Hot as a Cheeto and cold as the flu. She digging your boy. Digging your boy. She fucking with you. She fucking with you. Researching myself. Researching myself. Can't trust all the news. Can't trust all the news. This slapping like violence. Slapping like violence. I need me a rider. I need me a rider. Ain't in the withdrawal. Ain't in the withdrawal. I'm making deposits. I'm making deposits. You do what you can and I do what I wish.